that manager who's the front line, right? Whether they're an individual contributor manager or they're just a coach, right? They're not a player coach. Their one job is to make sure their team succeeds.
Cox here with another episode of $4 Million Strategies. Specifically today, we're talking about effective senior leadership in your strategy. We are here today with our main man, Jason Cutter, Chief Transformation Officer. Jason, tell us how effective senior leadership can make a big difference with your strategies.
I think it's so important. One of the biggest things that I see that really moves the needle and impacts organizations is when senior leadership understands their role and the role of other leadership. Because specifically, you brought up senior leadership. So this isn't about leadership principles in general. This is about an org chart and a structure. One of the areas I see that gets so many organizations in trouble that affects their effectiveness, that then affects their sales, which then affects their bottom line, is they have frontline managers. Now, you might be in a B2B space. You say, I don't have frontline managers. You do. Who's the manager that's dealing with your sales executives, your sales reps, whatever you want to call them? That manager who's the front line, right? Whether they're an individual contributor manager or they're just a coach, right? They're not a player coach. Their one job is to make sure their team succeeds. If this was a battlefield and this was a war, which it is because sales is hard. And when you're winning at sales, you're still losing percentage-wise, right? Amazing sales reps miss more shots than they make because that's just the game, right? And so it's a battlefield, which means your frontline managers, one job is to keep the troops alive, keep them supplied with what they need, and help them focus and make it through the day and win the battle, sometimes by inches, sometimes by miles, every day. The problem is senior leadership, who used to be in that role, maybe moved up, they're tasked with all these things. They're trying to succeed. They end up putting their managers in what I call admin hell. Meetings, reports, emails, instant messages, all kinds of stuff that literally takes their eye off of the battlefield. And the end result is their troops just dying. Their troops need help. They need someone to listen to calls. The best thing you can do as a senior leader is look at the strategy you should be looking at based on your org chart. Is it 5,000 feet? Is it 1,000 feet? Is it 10,000 feet? What does that look like for you? And then do everything you can to make sure your frontline manager is spending as much time as they can with their team, coaching, leading, supporting, everything like that.
All right, Jason, another massive challenge that happens, especially in sales organizations that you typically work with, is this classic top salesperson is crushing it. He's our hunter. Let's bring him into management. Tell us what you've seen here. Why does it often fail?
Here's the challenge is really good performers at anything don't know why they do it other than natural skills and abilities honed over a really long period of time, plus work and motivation. They can see the matrix and they don't understand why everyone else can't see the matrix. And some of it's just they grind, they hustle and grind. Top athletes, same things. I don't know why you're not successful. I show up at 3 a.m. and I leave at 10 o'clock at night and I shoot 1,000 shots. Why can't you be successful? They make terrible coaches because they don't have empathy and understanding for people who don't see the matrix. Problem is you take that person who literally doesn't understand it, you move them into a frontline leadership role because they were great. Now they're in that role. Now they have to rely on other people to be successful enough for them to make the money that they feel like they should be making when they really just want to get in there and do it themselves. And you don't give them any leadership training and management training. And the problem is that humans think everyone sees the world that they do. So they don't understand why everyone's not motivated the same way. Maybe it's President's Club or money or have a family. They don't understand why they don't do the things that they do. And they literally don't know how to manage players who play the game differently so that they have an even team. And you either end up with a homogenous team of people who are all killers, which never works because you can't have more than one killer, or it falls apart. And that person gets demoted or quits to go somewhere else and sell.
Crush it. Jason, thanks so much for being on $4 Million Strategies.
Thanks for having me, Carl.